Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late jokes.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Brianna with
And
Sam.
Yep, and it's Sam. I'm Tyler.
And today we're doing a special episode where we don't have a movie to review. We just got done doing Tyler versus the Class trivia on the first half, and we have a guest. Hi. Hello, darling.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm going to boost you up a little bit audio-wise because you're so quiet.
I don't think that's true. I think I'm a very loud person.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Who do you have with you?
Sam.
Move this. Can you show the camera?
Yeah.
Our darling baby boy.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. You got to put him in front of the mic. Oh, look at that. The cutest boy. Say hi, Sammy.
Say hi, Sammy.
He doesn't talk. He barely says anything. He barely even chirps ever.
You have to pause the TV and then wait
Yeah.
20 seconds.
He has a weird it's weird too because when we had Nova, she could spot a dog on screen, out of focus, back of frame.
Yeah.
We have that Maria Bamford
To
special.
paper mache dog in the background.
Yeah, it was a paper mache like statue dog of a bulldog, and it was out of focus, off to the side of the stage, and every time she'd see it, she'd get up and start growling. Now, Sam, if we pause something and there's a person's face on screen, he after about 5 seconds, 10 seconds,
Yeah. Like
after it's been paused for a while, then he'll go up to the screen and be like, "What is wrong with you?"
and he starts going crazy.
Barking and growling and stuff, standing up on his trying to get on TV and
Oh,
stuff.
that's funny.
Yeah, so he probably won't be there, but welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What are you here for?
Apparently, I'm being punished. I don't
I
know.
volunteer as tribute!
Yeah. That.
I believe we have a volunteer.
Oh, no, it's bad. It's real bad.
I haven't heard
When
that
a crappy
in a while.
movie is just too terrible to watch, Bree steps in and takes one for the team. Amityville Death Toilet from 2023, streaming on Philo and Fawesome. Very good. So you were called out specifically by one of the classmates.
Yes, which I do appreciate, but I have a bone to pick with your taste in shitty movies.
This is so to be clear, Binge Lord Dan, featured guest on the trivia episode. He called in from Canada, from the Great White North, but earlier in the week sent out me a blue sky skeet. They call it a skeet over there.
A skeet?
Yeah, I'm just going to call it a tweet because that's I don't like that. Yeah,
Back in my day, skeet meant something else.
exactly. So Dan skeeted at me and said Brianna should do a taking one for the team segment for Amityville Death Toilet. And I screenshot it, sent it to the love of my life who's sitting to my left. And she said, okay, I'll do it, with a smile on her face through text. And then immediately after, I'm going to read the text message, see if I can find it. Let's see here.
Shouldn't be that hard. We don't talk very often.
Shush. Where is it? These are all memes. Let's see here. 45 minutes. Oh, wait, here it is. Amityville Death Toilet sucks, and I have a bone to pick with your binge daddy friend. They could not have picked a movie more not for Brianna if they tried. I feel personally attacked. And then she sent a gif of a guy cracking his knuckles, and it said fight night. And then she says, I made it 45 minutes through that movie and then fast forwarded to the end.
Oh my God.
So
It must have been terrible.
Oh my God. Like after 45 minutes, I'm like, this has to be almost over. And I like clicked on the timestamp and there was another like
30 minutes left.
yeah. And I was like, nah, this is not
Nope.
happening because, and like, I'm not the type of person to not finish movies. Like I don't know. I consider it like a personal challenge of like, well, I started it. I have to finish it, you know? And
Yeah.
I just, I welcome your shitty recommendations. I'll watch them. I don't care. But I would appreciate a little less literal with like the shit, because this is very much a movie that should have been a short film. Like, I think something that small time filmmakers need to understand is it's okay to make a short film. Like, not everything has to be feature length. And a movie about a possessed toilet that does not need to be an hour and 29 minutes long. Thank you.
It's an hour and 12.
Okay, too long.
Probably felt like an eternity.
Cut an hour off that. 12 minutes. I would have been great if it was a 12-minute movie. Cool.
What's the plot?
Oh my God. Well, so another bone I have to pick is not with Binge Daddy this time, but it's with the filmmakers. And I noticed this in Amityville Karen also. And I realized that when you're on a budget, okay, like you can only work with so much. Amityville is not in fucking California, okay? Do not put, and as a Californian, I'm very passionate about this because we have enough shitty movies that take place here.
Okay.
But same with Amityville Death Toilet. They're like, oh, we're in New York. And then they go outside and every single car has a California license plate and every single house has the palm trees in front of it. And I'm like, yeah, New York. Anyway, so that's not the plot of the movie. That's just that's just my...
That's your own gripe.
That's my tangent that I had to go off on because I was like angry about it at the end of the movie. Anyway, so the plot is like kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like exactly what you think, okay?
So it's a possessed toilet? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so it's like,
like
I don't know if it's the Amityville house because the way that they talk about it, it makes it seem like it's supposed to be. But in the beginning, they also made it seem like it was happening in multiple houses in Amityville. So I'm not sure, and this could be like viewer error, I don't know, like I don't know if it's all supposed to take place in like multiple houses in Amityville or the main house. And so... it's a
ghost that started in that house and now it's spreading through all the toilets.
Well, and so I was thinking like they were going to try to take some of it seriously and they like none of it was taken seriously at all, which like, of course, how can you with this kind of material? Yeah. But it was like the toilets are all possessed. And so you're on it and you're doing your business and then like a knife will come out of the toilet, like either the toilet bowl or like
knife or like a hand and a knife.
Just a knife. Like you don't see anything. It's just the tip of the knife and then like whack, 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 whack. And it like cuts away and then there's like body parts, very clearly like dollar store body parts.
Spirit Halloween store.
Not even that quality.
Oh, really?
Like,
wow.
Like on the ground. And it's like you died because the toilet chopped you into pieces. Died. And there's like it's like a different murder weapon each time.
Okay.
So
they keep it fresh. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so
like poopery.
Oh yeah. And so the Mayor Dump.
Mayor Dump?
Mayor Dump.
That's their name, Mayor Dump.
Who, by the way, like, again, I know small film budget issues, whatever.
Roy Engelbrecht plays my Mayor Dump. Okay.
Yeah, well, Mayor Dump is the mayor, but works in a cubicle of some kind of like MMA boxing corporation because every single poster on the wall of the building has like MMA fight, boxing, blah, 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 blah. And so it's very obvious. And anyway, it doesn't matter. That's not the point of the movie. These are very small things. There's so much more to hate about this film. And so I just took issue with the fact that like they played so hard into the death toilet thing that even the mayor's name is Mayor Dump.
Yeah, that's a little on the nose.
Can I give you a little trivia about Roy Engelbrecht, who was the mayor?
Oh, please.
Also known from Death Toilet 6, Bidet of the Death.
There's 6 of them?
Bidet of the Dead. No, this is Death Toilet, not Amityville Toilet.
Oh.
Death Toilet 6. Amityville Death
Don't
Toilet.
get any ideas, Binge Daddy. I'll watch it, but I'll be real mad.
And Death Toilet 5, Invasion of the Potty Snatchers. Also is credited as additional crew for Celebrity Boxing and Boxing Time. # Boxing Time, a video from 2016. So yeah, clearly there's some fight stuff there.
So before I like continue into how the rest of the movie is, I would like to preface this by saying that I have a very dark and broad sense of humor. Like I make jokes about my dead mom all the time. I have I will joke about anything. I don't take anything seriously. I've gotten in trouble with Pete about it a lot.
What? Never.
And anyway,
I appreciate it. It's one of the things I love about you.
I feel like the thing that I draw the line at in my sense of humor is I do not enjoy potty humor, like literal potty humor at all.
No
I
pee
don't
and poop stuff.
I don't like poop jokes. I don't like fart jokes. So like the whole movie is one long poop joke, and so that's
one long log.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so that's why I said in the text of like there could not have been a more like not me movie, because to me I don't find that funny. And so the whole movie I was just rolling my eyes because they took one joke and then they made it last for an hour and 12 minutes.
Wow.
And I don't know. That's too long for a poop joke. Like it like 12 minutes. It should have been a 12-minute long movie.
That's too long. Very good.
Yeah. So anyway, so the Mayor Dump is like, we gotta get someone in here to stop this, or else everybody in Amityville is gonna die, and our tourist population's gonna whatever. Who cares?
All these people
And so-
flocking to Amityville for reasons other than the death house.
Yeah, and so they get this like paranormal investigator, and I left my notes downstairs. I don't remember his name. We'll just call him Greg.
Okay.
And so the paranormal investigator Greg was like, "Oh, I can do it." And so he goes to the house, stays the night, and was like,
It is Greg.
"Oh, I'm so
Good job, Greg Allen.
That's so perfect."
Wait. It's Greg G. Allen. G. Allen. It's spelled like them too. What the fuck?
That's
Okay.
also a poop joke, too.
That is, yeah. Because
Oh,
G. Allen ate his shit on stage.
I was wondering if there was some kind of poop joke with his name, but I don't.
Yeah, G. Allen's like, there's a documentary, Most Hated.
Yeah, or Murder Junkies. No, that's the band name. But
Yeah, and
Most
he
Hated.
he would like
Most
drink his
Hated.
own piss on stage and like put a hot dog in his ass and then eat it and stuff like that. Like it was basically like the divine of punk rock.
I would say that, but
Terrible person. Anyways, continue.
Is he dead?
yes.
I think so,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so
Papa bless.
yeah, well, maybe good things do happen.
Okay.
So he stays the night in the house and nothing happens, big surprise, and he's like, this place isn't haunted. And then all of a sudden this guy like comes out of another room and Greg is like, oh my god, you weren't here before, blah blah. And this is like 30 minutes into the movie. Okay, it's been one.
Okay.
It's been like one after another, like watching people die. And
So there's a lot of deaths, all poop related.
yeah, and then you find out that like the family who lived in this house before all died of diarrhea.
Oh, okay.
And
Like the Oregon Trail.
Yeah. And I'm just going to assume that like the water quality in Amityville probably isn't great anyway. So you could make the argument that like maybe they died of dysentery. But
Yeah.
Okay.
anyway, so I don't know if that guy actually was the caretaker or if he was a ghost, because I kind of felt like they were doing like a Deadstream type thing of like, oh, the ghost took form of a human. and
Yeah,
blah,
sure.
blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, because I fast forwarded after like 15 minutes.
You're like, none of this.
I fast forward after like another 15 minutes of him walking around the house and seeing nothing. Meanwhile, other people are, like getting killed. Oh, no, that's what it was. That guy died. So he wasn't a ghost because he was like in the bathroom one night and then he died.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
How many people die on the toilet? Or is it like, are they dying around the toilet?
No, they die on the
They're
toilet.
all on the
Just
toilet? Okay.
like, and there's no like context for like, are they in that house? Is it a different house? It's just, it cuts
Is it different
to people
looking
like,
bathrooms?
yeah, it just cuts to like, I will give them that. Some of these houses were nicely decorated. So I appreciate that they found houses to use where they had decorations instead of like.
Or is it like the Winchester Mystery House where there's 100 rooms and 12 bathrooms and they're all different?
I think that's what they were going for. But I noticed, so they say like, the family died. However, the family was like it consisted of like all men in their 30s and 40s. That's the whole family. Like, are they all brothers? I don't know. There were no women in this movie. I don't care
There's
about
not one
that,
woman in the movie?
Not that I saw. There's not one woman in the movie.
Did they at least do the thing with Nightmare on Elm Street where they're like, we got to stay awake. We can't go to sleep. We're like, we can't poop.
Maybe in the part that I fast forwarded through, because
25
I got
minutes.
tired of him like walking around the house doing nothing and like investigating rooms that weren't the bathroom.
Those are
And
the
then
worst movies.
I'm like,
nothing happens.
if the ghost is in the bathroom, investigate the bathroom, dude. What are you doing? Like, get Ryan and Shane from Watcher in there. They would have this ghost out of there in 10 minutes. But so I fast forwarded, And he's like talking to the toilet at this point, and I don't know, still like arguing, like, I don't know if you're real, blah, 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 blah. And so like I watched this for another 5 minutes and nothing happened. So I fast forwarded to a part where he's talking to his camera because the movie switches between like normal and found footage.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of it is Greg like filming himself because he's a paranormal investigator vlogger or some shit.
Okay.
And I get to the
Some
end,
shit.
and this reminded me so much of when I was in high school and we had to make movies for my media class. And there was like, no, you don't see the conclusion, because the part that I cut to is Greg talking to the camera and he's like, oh my God, the battle was crazy and I didn't film it, but the toilet's gone now and everything's fine. And so they don't even show Greg like
the final act or whatever.
And I'm like, really? So you're just supposed to assume that he got the ghost and it was this crazy battle. And you know,
it's like at the end of the Poochie episode where it's like Poochie died later.
Yeah.
Poochie had to go back to his hometown. He died later.
So, I mean, and then, but you know, spoiler, the toilet is still haunted and the ghost is still out there, because it cuts to Mayor Dump in his dumpy office, and he's talking on the phone of like, we did it, great job, I have to call everyone I know and thank them, and then proceeds to do this of like listing names like, we got the toilet, and I'm like, this again 12-minute movie, like
Yeah.
So was he naming the characters' names? He's saying thanking the people.
I don't know. And it's, at that point, I was
barely there.
I was so emotionally checked out. I was like, this is just end. And I'm waiting, because at this point there were 3 minutes left in the movie and he's still like thanking people. And I'm like, is this it? And then he goes to the bathroom and dies. And I'm like, great. There's going to be a sequel to this shit.
And Sam watched this movie with you, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I thought it was weird when I came home. He was frothing at the mouth. I was like, "What's wrong, boy?" And he growled at me, took a shit.
Yeah, he got possessed. I actually just fed him some of your Alka-Seltzer tabs to make things interesting during the movie.
Oh shit! Okay.
Well, something good's got to happen today.
Well, good news for everyone who watched this and thought, I can't wait to watch this movie, because the director, Evan Jacobs, has made 11 movies since this came out. And this came out in 2023. So,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell that they're not like spending a lot of time on the final product.
And not just, that's just the feature length of movies. There's also a million like videos in between there. So since Amityville Death Toilet, this director has also made Amityville Apocalypse, Mansplained, Amityville Backpack, Maximum Stroller Drive, Car Adventure, The Front Rooms, Amityville Back Rooms, The Pickleball Exorcist, which has a 7.4 on IMDb. What the hell? How did that get there?
That's when all of your friends go onto IMDb and they review your movie, and then one person gives it like a 2-star.
There's 5 ratings. 3 of them are 10. Those are the crew.
Yeah.
1 1 and 1 6.
I've been on the other end of people like, can you review my movie that you haven't watched? Just give it 10 stars. And I'm like, sure.
That's not suspicious
I saw this
at all.
shit at the 48-hour film festival. I know it's not a 10-star movie, but I'll give it one.
What would speaking of that, what are you going to give Amityville Death Toilet? 1 out of 10.
Half
star.
A star. Okay.
Half star.
What's the Evan Jacobs? If by some miracle you ever hear this,
Hey, you never know.
it's not you. Okay, like it's not your fault. I mean, it is your fault, but maybe this movie just isn't for me. However, I have a bone to pick with you too, and that is.
Sorry.
What's happening?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Spend a little bit of your budget on a graphic designer, okay? Like, we deserve to work on your movies, and it's very obvious that you just picked the boring typeface, like the most boring typeface you could find for the intro. That's like the big bang boom that's supposed to make your movie exciting, is like when the title pops up and it's just you typed it out in Microsoft Word. Like, come on, man. Like, I will do your next graphic design movie for $10. Okay, just take $10 of your budget. I will give you a good. I'll give you a good intro. Okay, that's the biggest bone I have to pick in your movie. Is like, it's fine. You're marketing towards a specific audience. It isn't me. I don't enjoy shitty movies. But a lot of people do. Okay, however, I'd give it 1.5 stars.
Okay,
if the design was better.
Oh, so you would
The
go
design
full
was
extra
good.
star for the design intro?
Yeah.
So in the chat, I asked Dan what he has to say for himself. He says, I honestly didn't think the request would work.
I will watch any movie. I might not enjoy it. I will do it.
But also, I watch a lot of low budget films, and it's less fun when the review was, it was pretty good. So
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I will give you my honest review. If you want somebody to be like, I mean, they did their best. That's not me. Do fucking better.
that's right. Do better. Tyler, you hear what we said?
Oh, God. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
No. You're good. You're doing better. So you did very good on the trivia segment.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's right. He knows fictional dogs very well.
I do.
Yes.
I'd like to also add, could I make a better movie than Amityville Shit Toilet? No.
Oh.
I could not. But I wouldn't try.
I don't know.
Very
I think
good.
you're shortchanging yourself.
I think he could do good.
I think you could make a good shitty movie.
Yeah, I think so.
God damn it. Is that seriously on the board?
What was it?
Nothing. That one. No, I think you could. I think you could make a better movie than that. You know how to use Final Cut Pro?
I pitched a movie to Joseph years ago, and he was like, no, fuck that. And it was... this was back when we all lived in the same apartment complex. So we had a pool, and I'm like, let's get like a blow up one of those sharks that you can control with a remote control, and we'll make. Did you just do that?
Huh?
Stop it.
Okay.
I
shark.
deserve respect.
Remote control shark. Okay.
I'm not one of your guy friends. and like we can have one of those remote control sharks. Get your fucking hand away from that button.
It's always on the
it away.
board.
Get it away.
It's always on the board. I'm sorry. Okay, continue.
I don't remember now. And so it's like we can make the worst shark movie in the world with one of these blow up sharks, and we just treat it serious. Like we take it full seriously and make it scary.
It's like bad CGI gator, but with an inflatable shark.
Yeah, and we play it
Full Moon
100%
Pictures
straight.
stole your idea.
No, I know. Play it 100% straight.
Bullshit.
The movie gets a B.
Is it a B? Is it what, F, D? What are you gonna give us, me? And you gave it half star. But
Amityville Toilet thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's your thing, if you like poop jokes, maybe
No, not if you like you.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Keep in mind,
You
Evan,
like it.
Evan Jacobs is listening.
Evan Jacobs, I'm proud of you. It's hard to make a movie.
It's hard to pick a movie.
You know what? Follow my podcast where people are nice to me on it.
No, that's Evan being sad. He's hearing your review.
No, I'm proud of you, Evan. You're doing your thing. You're making movies. This one sucked, and I think you know it. And I think that was the goal. So mission accomplished. And for that, I give it an F.
F. Wow.
But
F.
an A for effort.
Amityville Death Toilet. F. Actually, I have Evan Jacobs on the other line. Evan, would you consider changing your film after hearing Brianna's review?
I'm not changing a fucking frame of this movie.
All right. Well, there you have it.
You know, I'm
Sounded
gonna
really
go back.
angry.
I'm gonna give it a D for Death Toilet.
Yeah, there we go.
D for Death.
There it is. Great job. Anything else? You want to say anything to the class? You want to say make Sam say something in the class?
No. I would like to say that I will watch your movies. I will continue to watch your movies. I will complain about your movies, or I will praise them if they deserve it. And
thank you for taking one for the team again.
I took one. I took one for the team.
The Seed. You did The Seed. Remember that weird one with the alien?
Oh, I forgot about that.
That was the
movie.
first one, I think, and then Amityville Karen.
And I did They Slash Them.
They Slash Them was the last one. Yeah, I remember.
Actually, I think that was the first one.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
Because that one is like my kind of terrible movie where it's like they tried. I like movies where they try. You know, like it's when you can tell that someone's just like not trying, or maybe they are trying, but there's a specific look to it.
Yeah.
It just brings me back to my college days of like having to sit through like
Student films.
7 hours of student films, and I'm like, I'm hungry, I want to go home, and there's 12 movies left, and they're all trying to be deep or funny, and like they're not funny and they're not deep, and I don't know. It's a me thing. It's not them. It's not their fault. It's my fault. I'm hard to please.
No, that's okay. And I don't believe that either, because I've seen your reviews of some bad movies and you're like, they did a very good job and it's not for me, but this is not for anybody.
Well, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I like have this fear. I have this fear that like the people who make these movies are just scrolling through Letterboxd, like looking at all the sad reviews and then just
they are
crying into their oatmeal or something.
You know
and,
they
like,
are.
I know, and so I try to be nice because like it's exactly. You know, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but like also I feel like when you're making a movie to intentionally be shitty, like you're doing it on purpose, and I'm not the market for that. However, I will continue to watch it, and I'm just gonna keep ranting because this is I like this song.
Yeah.
I will not watch that Greasy
The Greasy
Spoon movie.
Strangler.
Yeah.
In the chat, there's some stuff here. Heather says hello again. She's back. And Dan says, no more Amityville. Got it.
I mean, eventually, if I review every shitty movie, we're going to have to swing back around to Amityville because there's like 9,000 of those movies.
About a metric ton of them.
They're owning the market for shitty movies. Like I don't know.
Amityville, yeah. And then Heather says, I'll watch any movie that you made. She also says, those are the best ones when people are earnestly doing the best they can. Those are magnificent. I get it. If they're just honestly phoning it in and you're like, I know you could do better, but you didn't.
That's how I felt That's how I felt about Death Toilet. Is like, don't insult me, the viewer, watching your movie about a haunted toilet. Like, I know there's going to be poop jokes, but you could try to play it serious sometimes. But instead, it was like, oh, nothing's happening. And I'm like, I know. I've been watching this for 50 minutes and nothing is happening. Cut it down. Make it a 12-minute movie and then let's go from there. You know, like, if the short film was well received, make it longer.
Yeah, like Lights Out.
Sure.
And then Dan also says, new monthly segment. Heather says, oh, yeah.
Maybe.
If the people want me, I will give them what they want.
That's right. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, darling. Say goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye.
Very good. Isn't she beautiful, ladies and gentlemen?
Bye. Thanks
Bye.
for having me.
See you later.
Yep.
Bye, Tyler.
I'll play some outro music for you. Here we go.
Bye, Heather and Binge Daddy Dan.
There you go. This is Tyler's Get On With It music.
Mm-hmm.
When he's going long, we just play the Skyrim music.
Yeah.
Very good. Good job, darling. Bye. All right. Wasn't that great? What do you think, Tyler?
That was good. And you know what? I appreciate the effort to watch this shitty movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if she says she watches a movie like all the way through, no matter how bad, and she broke that rule for this one, it must be really shitty.
Yeah.
Not in a good way. It just sounds like
she said she felt bad because she didn't watch it but she's like, I only have so many hours in my life. I'm not going to spend another 25 minutes watching the rest of this shitty movie. Yeah. All right. Dan says, I will compile my favorite low budget movies. And then Heather says, as the only female in the last segment, additional estrogen could be refreshing. That's right.
That is true.
I know.
A lot of carrots in this stew.
Brianna doesn't like podcasts. So
yeah,
I've asked her, do you ever listen to the show? She's like, fuck no. Hell no. I don't listen to podcarts. So anyways, are you ready for some streaming picks, Tyler?
I am.
Movies.
Want to watch a movie?
Yes, I do. Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix. You found the
Streaming picks. Movies that we watched on our streaming services this week that you can watch on yours too. Tyler, lead us off.
All right. So have you ever experienced the phenomenon where you go on your streaming service and try to find a movie, but it's like all of your favorite movies that are there and you can't choose one? Just paralyzed with all the choices?
Yeah, analysis paralysis.
Yeah, I had it real bad last week because
real bad.
On Hulu, like almost nearly all of my top 10 movies are on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you name them?
No. No, I can't.
I appreciate that.
Just because it's an ever changing list. It's like I have no concrete list of my favorite top 10
But when you
movies of
see
all
it, it's
time.
like art. When you see it, you know it.
Exactly.
You're like, that's a top 10.
It's like what's the who's the artist who does like the marble rolling thing? I can't remember. his
Marble
name.
rolling?
Yeah, he gets a canvas and he puts like a marble like on the canvas and he like rolls it around. Sells for. You've seen him before, I know.
Jackson Pollock?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know he uses a marble.
I thought I was under the assumption he did. And I
you just assume that they're all made by marbles.
It looked like it was by marble.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
But anyways.
Famous marble artist, Jackson Pollock.
Yeah. So like when I see a movie, exactly. So it's like when you see a movie, it's just like, oh yeah, that is
that's an all-timer.
That's one of my favorite movies. But
I can appreciate that because like sometimes I'm thinking, oh yeah, that movie's like definitely my top 50.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did I pick 50? Does that mean it's in my head it's about the 50th? Because if I say top 50, it could be my number one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I mean, I think I have a pretty solid concrete top 3 list.
Okay.
But those change positions all the time though.
Got it.
Anyways, so I didn't watch a whole lot. I only watched one movie last week because of that.
Because you just paralyzed with fear.
It's not fear. It's just more like I get like it's kind of like it's just too many choices. So I just end up not
shut down.
I just end up not watching.
What do you do
it.
instead?
I usually just man, it's hard to explain the mindset of not watching a movie when like all your favorite movies are in front of you and I'm just choosing one. So it's kind of like doom scrolling in a way, but with a streaming service.
Okay.
And so eventually it's like once you're like, for example, like when you're on TikTok, you're like, I'm tired of TikTok. Close the app. It's kind of like that.
That's
like,
on TikTok. And then you open it back up again.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I was just here.
Yeah. So,
continue.
But did I stream pick the Sicario movies already?
I don't think so.
Dang, I thought I did. Well, good thing that I have 3 streaming picks now. So I'm just gonna. They're all Benicio del Toro movies. So like I was on a Benicio del Toro high.
Benicio.
Oh, Benicio. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah.
So first one is streaming on Netflix. This is 2023's Reptile. Yeah,
sound familiar.
Starring Benicio del Toro, Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
It is, if you like True Detective, you'll love this movie because I feel like they ripped off a lot of the cadence of True Detective to the point where I was like, are they trying to cater to me? Like, I liked it.
They're like, this is tailor-made for me.
I liked it and I enjoyed the style of it, but it felt like such a ripoff. But it's good though. Like, it's a good like a web of lies kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically Benicio del Toro, he plays Tom Nichols. He's a hardened New England detective, unflinching in his pursuit of a case where nothing is as it seems, and begins to dismantle the illusions in his own life. So there's a murder in a house that's for sale. It's the murder of the real estate agent who's selling the house because they're like sprucing it up for like showing.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to like meet his friend or something, and she stays behind just to do like final touches.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets a text message saying like come back, and then he comes back and she's brutally murdered. And
text messages from her saying come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he calls the cops. Del Toro's character is like investigating it, and it basically becomes a cold case. Like the police captain's like, well, if you can't close this case, like we're shutting it down.
Okay.
And at first he notices a bite mark that was overlooked in the murder.
Interesting.
No one noticed it, and like right before they were gonna close the case, he was like, "No, let's just try this one more thing." And so they get teeth imprint marks from this heroin dealer that's connected to the murder somehow.
Mm-hmm.
They find his DNA. Oh, it's not a heroin dealer; it's her ex-husband.
Oh,
sorry. And then they get, and then he tries to run away from the police when they find the DNA on the body. When they go serve his warrant, and then he tries to climb out the window and he shoots him in the back and he dies. So they go to the autopsy room, or what is it? The morgue.
Okay.
The autopsy room.
You can tell us the whole story.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but I'm just like kind of leading it up to where like I'll let the viewers. So like they get the imprint and no dice. And so that's when the things start getting interesting. It's like, okay, so why was the husband's DNA on the body? Why was there a bite mark that doesn't match his dental? And so then that's when things start like kind of unraveling. And it's just like the cinematography is really good. The way he plays the character is it can be a little awkward sometimes because like I feel like he's trying to be Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, he's trying to be mysterious and
but
enigmatic.
But he isn't. Like I mean, in some instances he is, but for the most part he isn't.
Okay.
So yeah, that's streaming on Netflix. Really good movie.
Reptile.
And then just I thought I stream picked the Sicario movies.
Maybe you did. You can do a briefer on it if you want.
Yeah, well, it was news to me that Denis Villeneuve, I don't know, I'm butch.
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
Or
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
There you go.
Whatever. Denis, I did not know he directed the Sicario movies. I was familiar with the movies, but I didn't know he directed them. And so when I saw his name pop up, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, those movies are really good. Just beautifully well shot as expected. And it's a interesting story as far as dealing with like illegal immigration and drug cartels. And you know, when I heard that there was a second one, I was really like cautious about it because I was like, how do you follow up with that first one? The first one, nice tight bow, but it's a really raw and gritty, realistic take on like Mexican crime and human trafficking that you wouldn't and on the law enforcement side, because they kind of jump between like each perspective. But I think Benicio del Toro's acting was incredible in this movie, much better than Reptile. But
you didn't like him in Reptile?
I did. It's just like I felt like he was just trying to be someone he's not.
Okay.
Like in the Sicario movies, like he definitely comes off as like a gun for hire, and he plays it well. And I also love like illegal government shit in movies. I think it's always very interesting to me, and so I like the Call of Duty movies.
Call of Duty movies,
the Call of Duty games.
Yeah,
because they deal with that sort of level of conspiracy and corruption. So, and those are streaming on Netflix as well. And yeah, and what was that one documentary on YouTube that you stream picked?
Audience of One.
Yeah, I did try to watch that movie. I had to stop it because I was cringing too hard. Like it was like to the point where like it was bumming me out.
It is, a lot.
But not even in the first 60 seconds of the movie, I was already howling. It's fucking hilarious.
It's really good. It's really intense. That people are that delusional.
Yeah. And it was.
How long did you get into it? 10 minutes? 20 minutes?
Yeah, I believe I stopped at the 22 mark.
22-minute mark.
22-minute mark.
They made it to Italy.
Yeah, it was funny, like when they're like discussing like how to get to Italy, like everyone's kind of like when they're having the meeting, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it'll give us like we'll have like 1 or 2 or 3 days to make it," and everyone's like side necking.
Yeah,
they're just like
everybody who knows anything about making films is like, this is bad.
Yeah,
they're like, we have 2 days lead time at the beginning. I think 3 days when they get there, and then 2 days to shoot.
Yeah, and I think there was like one reaction where one of the like filmmakers was like, that's not enough time.
He says it's not enough time. You have to push it back, and he goes, well, we already bought the tickets and non-refundable.
I know. When he said that they already bought the tickets, I was like, you fool.
You idiot. Yeah.
So yeah, I will make another valiant attempt to watch it again, or I restart it and get through it. But yeah, those are what I have for this week.
Okay. Let's see here. What do I have? Let's start off with the one that is not streaming anywhere. I bought this on a 4K disc basically it was a recommendation it was a Peter Jackson production, directed by this guy named Christian Rivers, who was a CG special effects coordinator lead on all of the Lord of the Rings movies and a ton of movies before that even. So worked very closely with Peter Jackson, and this is Mortal Engines from 2018.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this one, yeah.
I don't know if it's like a book series or...
It is.
Okay. It seemed like there's a lot of lore. Oh, yeah, you know what? I looked it up. There was. And it's apparently a lot darker in the books than it is in the movie. But basically, the plot synopsis is that this is thousands of years in the future. Earth now have cities that are roaming across the world on these huge wheels and tracks, and they're devouring each other, the cities, in a struggle for ever diminishing resources. And on one of these massive traction cities called Old London, Tom Natsworthy has an unexpected encounter with a mysterious young woman from the wastelands who will change the course of his life forever. And she's the woman on the cover with the face covered by the red scarf or whatever. And her face has got scarring on it. You know, not a huge surprise it's going to happen. But in the book, she says her nose is completely cut off. She's missing chunks of her face and her eyes missing. So she's like hideously deformed. But in this one, it's just not. She's just got a scar naturally.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have to make the main character look a little bit attractive.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So Heather says she's seen it and doesn't know where all the hatred comes from, but it's got a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I heard it was
tragedy.
I heard it was not well received.
It wasn't, but it has a huge CG budget, and it really looks great.
Okay,
and the ingenuity behind all of like the character designs and the city designs are interesting, and it's kind of like Howl's Moving Castle, where the castle is like moving around and kind of is its own living thing.
Yeah.
But instead of it's basically like it's the entire city is built on like a frame that has these like a Mad Max style like engine behind it, or like vehicles chassis behind it. But it's the size of multiple buildings on these cities.
That's crazy.
And sometimes they're small little villas that get together and they all have like trading posts together. And it's like little, almost like small creatures getting together to like Congress or something.
Does it say in the movie like if they're traveling to specific places, or
no? They're just wandering, living their life. Yeah, just like think of them like animals. And then all of a sudden, the apex predator animal, New London, this huge city, comes in and like basically devours the entire city.
Okay.
And they chew it up into pieces and use it to power their city.
It's like that worm game where like you eat the dots and you get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So there's nothing too like the storyline isn't too interesting as once you get like break it apart all the stuff into just this character is being double crossed by this character and But there is some good stuff about who your real father is and who actually raised you versus that kind of that whole sort of thing, and betrayal by a person of power that you thought was good and is now evil. So it's like a lot of that's kind of like tropey, but it didn't seem bad. It just seemed like stuff we've seen before. But it's like I didn't care. I still had a really good time because the world building was great. In the intro, they don't really give you a whole lot. It's just like these cities are attacking these other cities, and you're like, oh, cities attacking. That's weird. And then if, I don't know, his fucking like driving city comes up and is like shooting spears at the other one to like drag them in. And you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So great creature design, great character design. You actually care about the characters for the most part. There's maybe like one or two that you're like, who's this person? Oh, they're supposed to be known. Maybe they're more known in the book, but you're just like, they came and went and who cares?
Yeah.
But ultimately very good and engaging. And it's like a cross between like Miyazaki and Star Wars or something like that.
Okay.
Because they all have like these flying machines too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So that's not streaming anywhere. You have to rent it for $4. I think it's a good rental. I think that's a $4 rental, and I'd do it. I watched it on 4K just to see if it would be a good show off movie. You could just put it on, show off the system or whatever, and it looked great. So The person who directed it, Christian Rivers, obviously knows what he's doing with the special effects, and this is an example of that. So
Cool.
Mortal Engine, streaming nowhere. Worst movie of the week, The Da Vinci Code.
You didn't like that one?
Terrible. Hated this.
Oh man, I love the Da Vinci Code.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you love about it?
I just love the Christian conspiracy of it all.
Yeah, but it's so boring. There's so much. It goes on and on and on, and it's like they're like needlessly convoluted. Where something like National Treasure, you know exactly where they're going with it. A to B, you know what's happening. You know what the characters are doing, all this kind of stuff. But it's like they're just pulling out these obscure texts from the Bible to like justify why this is a thing, and then the whole time you're like, why the fuck does Tom Hanks know all this? I know he knows because he's like a philosopher, but he's like.
He's a theologist.
He's a theologist and a studier of He's a scholar of ancient symbolism, symbology, and it's like Audrey Tautou has never been worse in this. She's doing nothing. She's given nothing to do. She's what's her name? Amelie, the actress that played Amelie.
Yeah,
and she's given nothing to work with. Terrible in this. She's not bad. It's just her character has nothing to work with. It's just not good. And then Paul Bettany playing an albino. Why does he have to be albino? The guy who's flogging himself is albino. Don't those people have it hard enough already? Every movie the albinos are in, they're the villain. It's a ghost or just a weirdo with like horn rim glasses that are Coke bottle, lenses.
They are always villains. I don't think
why?
I don't think I've seen a non-villain albino. I'm sure they're
Find me a movie that has a normal ass person that's an albino. It's as bad as the dwarf population when they were like always relegated to elves and this and that and freaks and freak shows and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like now you could have. Yes, they might comment on it, the fact that that person has dwarfism, but that's not the defining characteristic of that character.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage definitely led the way.
Peter Dinklage changing the script. Yeah. Which albino actor will change the script? So, anyways, Da Vinci Code streaming on Hulu. Avoid it. It sucks. The next movie I watched was from my personal collection. I'm still going slowly through the Werner Herzog collection.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm up to 1974, The Enigma of Kaspar Hauser. Have you heard of this one?
I have not.
Okay. It's a narrative movie about a historical figure, Kaspar Hauser. And Kaspar Hauser was a strange German young man who, for the first 17 years of his life, was basically held captive by who he called his father. We don't know really if it was his father or not, but it was somebody who held him captive in like the high tower of a building for 17 years. Never met another human being, never saw the outside, never saw a tree, didn't know how to talk, didn't know how to walk, could barely feed himself.
Oh my God.
And at some point, this man took him and dropped him off into a town and said, good luck, and left a note that said, this is my son, take good care of him. And he taught him one phrase, I want to be a grand rider like my father, or something like that. Grand equestrian, something like that.
Equestrian.
Yeah, he wanted to be like a soldier, like a soldier rider, whatever. At least that's what the father wanted for Kaspar. And basically, the entire story of this movie is the town rallying around him and teaching him how to be a functioning member of society. And they all think that he's like mentally disabled, but he just has no exposure to any of it.
You know what? The plot of this movie sounds really familiar.
Yeah, I imagine there's a few movies that are kind of based off of this person in real life. But after Werner did Geiger, The Wrath of God, that was also in a historical figure account. It was widely acclaimed. He started doing more biopics about historical figures as narratives. So this was the next one in 1974. It's streaming on Kanopy, Philo, Shout TV, Fandor, and Plex. I picked it up from my Blu-ray collection, and it is really interesting, very good. And it's interesting. The other interesting thing about it is that the main actor, Bruno S., only known as Bruno S., plays Kaspar Hauser, not an actor. He is a man, maybe he did some acting, but he's a man who spent a lot of his life on the streets and in and out of many mental institutions throughout his entire life. So he based his performance based off of real people he met in mental institutions.
Wow.
And Kaspar Hauser, spoiler alert, becomes a very interesting person who is capable of playing piano and writing poetry and doing all these things. And
Renaissance man.
Yeah, very interesting. And he's basically just came from not even being able to like chew his own food
That's so crazy.
At age 17 to being able to do all these things. So it was very cool. So again, The Enigma of Kaspar Hauser, 1974. Next movie is one that I keep seeing popped up on Paramount, and I finally got Brianna to watch it with me. It's called Good Boy from 2022. This is a movie. I'll just read the synopsis.
Okay.
Christian, a millionaire heir, meets Sigrid, a young student, on a dating app. They hit it off quickly, but there's only one problem. Christian lives with Frank, a man who dresses up and constantly acts like a dog. He's the original furry.
Okay.
He's in a fur suit. He's got a like creepy ass dog mask, and he acts like a dog fully. And Christian's like doesn't prep her for it. She just takes him home, or he takes her home from a date, and she's like, "Oh, you have a dog?" He's like, "Yeah, I got a dog." "Oh, what kind of breed is it?"
Human.
It's complicated. I don't know. She's like, "What do you mean? Did you get him from the pound?" It's complicated. And they have sex, and then afterwards, the dog comes into the room, and it's this human in a fur suit on his hands and knees walking, and it's like, and like jumps up on her, and he's like, "Get down, boy. Get down, Frank, down." And she's just like, "What the fuck? What is this?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this playing as a comedy or like a creep thing?
Creepy.
Oh,
it's a horror.
okay.
It's a horror.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's a horror.
I mean, that is horrifying.
Yeah, when you see it too, it's horrifying. It's Norwegian, and she has to decide whether she wants to go back on a date with this guy because she finds out after the fact that he's actually a millionaire and an heir to the famous millionaire who's died. Her parents are dead, and she's just like, maybe and she's like, "Is it a kink?" So she like goes on YouTube and looks up like what puppy play is, and if that's is acceptable and how to get into it, and if it's like, is it wrong, is it right, is it whatever, it's just a kink. And she's like, "I don't even know if it's a kink. It's not like it's sexual at all. He's just like a roommate almost. It's a fucking guy." So learning about what it is and the reveal of who it is and all this kind of stuff is interesting, and it is very effective. So. And it's only an hour, 20 minutes long. Totally worth a watch, I think.
Good Boy.
Fucking creepy. Yeah. Good Boy. And I think it used to be called Me, You, and Frank. It might be named that in like other countries or something like that. But it's you can't miss it. You see the poster. It's a creepy ass dog mask. So that's streaming on Paramount Plus, Plex, and Fubo. Good Boy. Next up, one from the year before my birth, 1985. Also streaming on Paramount, Fubo, and Kanopy. Also Hoopla. This is called Witness, starring Harrison Ford. Do you know about this one, Tyler?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So this is about an Amish community, and one of the mother she's a widow. She brings her young son, who's probably like 8 or something like that, 7 or 8, into New York City. They're from living outside of New York, and they go into New York City to visit her sister or something like that, who lives in the city. And they're Pennsylvania Dutch Amish. And when they go into the city, the boy goes into the bathroom by himself, and he witnesses a murder, like a hit.
Oh.
And he becomes the sole witness for this murder and is able to identify the man who murdered him. So the police get involved and are like, we need you to stay in the city longer so he can go on trial.
Yeah. And
then turns into a corruption scheme, and Harrison Ford has to flee New York and go live in the Amish community. Sounds crazy, huh?
That does sound crazy.
It is really fun.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really fun. This is directed by Peter Weir, who did Master and Commander and The Far Side of the World. Also, The Truman Show, Dead Poet Society, and a couple other ones that you might recognize.
Okay.
So I liked this quite a bit. Seeing Harrison Ford get up in the plane gear. They call it plane.
They call it plane.
Because they're like, he's like, "How do I look?" "Well, you look very plain English." And he's like, "Is that a compliment?" And he's like, that's what they want. They want you to be plain. And of course, there's a love story. Kelly McGillis, I think, is the name of her name. She's the main lead from Top Gun.
Oh.
Let me see if I got that name right.
I think you did.
Yeah, Kelly McGillis. And then the little kid is Lucas Haas, who plays the original architect in the Inception movie. In Inception, he's the one who like has the failed architect, and then they like carry him off, and when they get in the helicopter.
Yeah.
He's an actor you'd probably recognize if you saw his picture, but you don't know his name. He's 8 years old in it, and he's playing this. It was like his debut.
Oh, okay.
Also, Viggo Mortensen's debut in this.
Really?
He plays one of the Amish. Yeah,
That's
a debut.
Wow.
1980
How old? Oh yeah,
1985.
1985.
1985. Yeah. So this is good. Danny Glover's in it. It's cool. So what else do you need to know? Watch it. Witness 1985.
All right.
Next one. This is not one I really need to recommend to anybody, but I got around to watching it. Paddington in Peru, the third of the Paddington series.
I've heard really good things about that one.
Yeah, streaming on Netflix. I think Binge Lord Dan originally told us about it when it first came out, and Dan said doesn't have the magic of the first two, but still very good and very heartwarming. I agree with that 100%. So you don't need me to tell you about Paddington movies. You've probably heard a billion times that it is just a great series, and this is no different. Yeah, very, very good.
All right.
Okay, so that's on streaming on Netflix. The only thing that I thought that was weird about this is that Sally Hawkins isn't in it anymore, and they replaced her for Emily Mortimer. And it's just
different.
Yeah, the mom.
Oh, okay.
The mom, like Sally Hawkins. They couldn't get Sally Hawkins to come back, so they got Emily Mortimer, who does fine. But it's like Sally Hawkins is so recognizable. She's so like notable, and also she's the main matriarch of the family, who's a pretty significant part of this movie. So she's third build in the movie, so it's like a big change.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, anyways, Paddington in Peru streaming on Netflix. Another movie that I've been meaning to watch that finally hit streaming is on Max right now. This is Bong Joon-ho's latest Mickey 17.
Oh yeah,
Do you see it?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard mixed reviews about it.
Yeah, this for people who've only seen like Parasite or like I don't know what was his Bong Joon-ho's other like kind of big name movie. Let's look at his catalog. Parasite, Memories of Murder. Maybe people might know him from that. Mother, maybe Okja. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's coming in from like a regular audience, like he got all this acclaim from Parasite and then followed up with this. They're gonna be very disappointed because this is a goofy fucking movie.
Oh, is it?
Super goofy. Yeah,
I like the premise of the movie.
And it's funny because that premise is played for the first half of the movie. They kind of really lean into that, and you see the fun and the craziness and the psychoticness of that setup. And then it's still in play all the way into the end, but it's in a different context. And I don't want to like kind of spoil any of it because it goes into some weird places that I wasn't expecting. And it spends a lot of time with these creatures that they find on this planet because Mark Ruffalo plays a politician, and he's lost like two of the major elections, and basically decides to flee Earth and take a colony to colonize Nilfhelm, this new planet that's like Earth.
Nilfhelm?
Nilf.
Oh,
Nilfhelm. Sounds like a Skyrim name.
Yeah.
And they go out there, and basically Mickey volunteers to be an expendable and duplicate himself whenever he dies, because it's outlawed on Earth. They can only do it in space and only for specific purposes. Like these are life endangering things. So like at some point they get to Nilfhelm and they're like, we need to figure out if this air is toxic. And they're like, Mickey, go out there, take your helmet off. And he's like, okay. And they're like, breathe deep. Imagine all the bacteria and is filling up every alveoli air sac in your lungs. We wanted to get to every bit, and he just has to do it. And then he like pukes his bloody guts out in their like pod under surveillance, and then they try to make a vaccine for that.
Okay.
And he has to die like 16 times in order for them to get it right. Yeah. So that's like the concept. And then when naturally, if you've seen the trailers, they think he dies on the 17th time, but he doesn't. So Mickey 18 is created, and Mickey 17 finds his way back, and now there are two of them. And there can't be two of them. That is illegal. Immediate extermination of all the Mickeys and all their memories has to happen.
Wow.
So now he has to fight for his life and the life of his number 18. So there's Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 are like running amok together.
Huh?
Yeah. So the really cool thing is that they have this alien creature that they call creepers on the planet, which are very cute. Like they look like tardigrades, the water bears, those like microscopic water bear creatures.
Yeah.
That mixed with like a roly-poly and a stingray, because they have these long like tails. And they're super weird. They almost look like elephants when you look at them in the face when they get older. But there's like 1 million babies and a couple bigger ones and like one mama, a big queen or something. And almost the entire third act is all around that creature. And that's interesting. And fucking Toni Collette plays such a terrible person in this. And Mark Ruffalo plays such a terrible person.
I mean, the concept of the whole movie is terrible.
Yeah,
like
it is. But he
speaking.
volunteered for it, and but at the same time, they're also dumb politicians. So watching this dumb idiot, then all these idiots are following him. Was like, okay, I can see this happening. So, Mickey 17, that is streaming on HBO Max right now. Okay. Absolutely worth a watch. And then one that I talked about earlier in the trivia, streaming on Roku right now, Best in Show. It's the best.
Okay.
Literally. It's so fucking good.
Is that an older movie?
2000.
Oh, okay.
You do that. Pre-9/11.
I feel like that's why you said. I feel like I've heard of that movie before and the plot.
Dude,
but
you have to watch it. It's so funny.
Okay.
It's so every
is it geared towards like wasn't it like a children's movie or geared towards children? Oh, it isn't. Okay.
No, I mean you could watch it as a kid. You may not see a lot of the humor in it. It would just be goofy because there's some goofy stuff in there. Mm-hmm. But it's like every owner of the dogs, because it follows all. It's like a mockumentary. That's like the theoretical documentary is following all these dog owners of various breeds, and they're all getting ready for this Mayflower Dog Show, which is like the Eukanuba kennel, the best of show, whatever, the big dog show every year. And Jennifer Coolidge owns a standard poodle. Christopher Guest owns a bloodhound. Parker Posey and her husband own a Weimaraner. Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara owned the terrier. And then Michael McKean and I can't remember the guy's name. They're a gay couple and they own a Shih Tzu. And it's like the craziness of all the different owners is funny. The dog, their interaction with the dogs is funny. How serious everybody takes it is funny. And then just the fact that some of them are just regular Midwesterners or Floridians, and other ones are like elitists who they bought the bloodline of the last 3 generations to get to win the best of show, and they're clearly aristocrats.
Yeah.
So it's really fun in that regard. And at the same time, you don't go more than 60 seconds without a joke. It's like the jokes per minute are just constant.
All right.
Will Sasso has a small part in it. Larry, what's his name? Larry Miller has a small part in it. There's so many like interesting parts, and it's just funny start to finish. I still think A Mighty Wind is probably my favorite of the Christopher Guest mockumentaries. That's a folk music mockumentary, but this is right up there. It's a 7.5 on IMDb, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Should be higher. It's a 5-star movie.
Damn.
All right. So that's only streaming on Roku, but you should buy that.
Okay. You should just buy it.
Yeah. So that's it. Anything you want to say, Tyler?
Well, it was nice to have Brianna on the show.
Yeah.
Heather's saying that we need more estrogen in the show. I agree completely.
It would be nice.
So maybe we can try to do that segment every month when we have a free Sunday or Saturday.
Yeah, I think especially if we were just like, hey, we don't want to do trivia, we don't want to do news. Let's have Brianna on.
I like that. I like that idea.
Or maybe she can be on whenever one of us are out. Like Joseph's out today.
Yeah.
If one of us are sick or something like that, we just have her come in and take in one for the team. But we got to kind of know ahead of time for that.
And Joseph, I miss you. I know you're watching. Or no, you're probably not watching.
No, he's not watching. No, he's out in nature.
Out in nature, yeah.
In Oregon.
Yep.
Anything else?
Well, may God save our souls with this heat wave coming towards us, barreling towards us.
Papa bless.
Yeah.
All right. So, thank you to our cool ass yardities on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, and Chris. If you want to support us on the Patreon, you can do so. Patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just watch us on YouTube, share with a friend. We've done something different recently where I'm leaving the live shows monetized because I noticed that the ads that pop up are much less frequent. But the episodes that I'm releasing on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm removing the monetization from those. We get almost no views, so it's not like we're actually making any money on it. It's just more of the pride that we're actually able to get monetized.
Yes.
But all that being said, I watched him back a couple of times, and it's like every 5 minutes a fucking ad would pop up.
Sorry, classmates.
Unbelievable how often that was. And it's like sometimes these are hour and a half or more episodes. Every 5 minutes on 60 minutes, what is that? What is that? 20? I am really terrible at math. Let's see here. 60. This is how bad I am. 12. It's 12 ads every hour.
Yeah.
That seems crazy.
That's a lot. That's like cable TV.
Yeah. Heather says they were actually more frequent today for me during the broadcast.
Oh.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is what we might do. I mean, the goal is it takes the raw footage from the full extended, live stream that we're doing, and maybe pick like a one small segment, like one individual movie review, and then make a 5-minute video out of it.
Yeah.
And it takes more work. You have to actually edit things instead of just like uploading a, pre and post or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one ad on one of those, that's fine. And that's something that is easy to share, maybe get more people to come to the channel or whatever, because I think once people come in and they listen to the show, they have a fun time and maybe they'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fun is in the chat, or like listening live and communicating and class interaction.
That is very fun.
Yeah, I think that's the fun part. At least
But
for me.
I think the short form video would be beneficial, and not when everyone doesn't have to be watching 12 ads during an episode.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it takes time to edit those things.
That is true.
And it's like,
that is true.
It would be nice to have a dedicated editor, but you got to be making money. See, it's a catch-22.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so anyways, until next time. Thank you for joining us as we do a little streaming picks and some take one for the team with Brianna. God bless anyone who watched Amityville Death Toilet. I'll just say that. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And please share with a friend, anybody who likes movies or long form podcasts. It would be really nice to get some more listeners. And, the Patreon is, active, and we're doing a lot of fun stuff there. So hopefully we'll see you soon. See ya.
Follow my podcast where people are nice to me on it.